This case reminds me of Halloween. There have been some tricks, there have been a few treats, and I think there's been a lot of people hiding behind masks. Whose mask are we going to have to take off to find the true killer of Mr. Bolitho Blane? Officer Kettering, having sent all his reports to his boss, has apparently gotten a response here on the 10th of March in the morning. Everybody on the ship is going to be like, when can I go home? Never! Not until the mystery is solved. Memo. To Detective Officer Kettering, I acknowledge herewith your reports of yesterday's date. Ooh, a date! Scandalous. Together with documents as stated therein. Boring. Less nerd talk. More things getting shot. I mean, except for Blane. I didn't do it. It wasn't me. I am now forwarding herewith all information at present available regarding the parties concerned. Let me have your report upon the re-examination of all parties in the light of the fresh information obtained as soon as possible. Signed, our boss, John Milton Schwab, Lieutenant, Florida Police. It's not Miami Police, he's Florida Police. Look out, everyone, I'm the cop of Florida. I don't know if the English folks who made this game understand how states work, but whatever. Let's see what information we've gotten from the boss. Identification section, Department Police, New York City. Wait, is this Count Posadini? I think it is. If we look at the picture of Count Posadini, that mustache really makes him look a lot different. But the nose looks very similar, as do the eyebrows. And the ears. Arrested July 4th, 1930. Why are the cops be coming down on people on Independence Day? Let them have some fun. On the Mauritania, on ship's arrival in New York. Sentenced 18 months for fraud. Served 15 months in Sing Sing. Then released for good conduct on November 10th, 1931. So, do you think Count Posadini was scamming Reginald and them? Yes, I'm a count. Because he wanted to get down there and steal from them. Or more likely hustle from them. Because he seemed to be like a card shark and stuff. Arrested May 15th, 1933 in the Feldmar Hotel, New York City. Sentenced 2 years for fraud. Served 20 months in Sing Sing. Then released for good conduct on January 28th, 1935. So he's a good prisoner. Name? Daniels George. Slick. Is slick like an adjective? Oh man, that guy's slick. Are you writing up a report about him? Yeah, you should see how cool he is. Ted, you gotta quit falling in love with the criminals. Never. Alias Philip Verfrognal, Henry de Balasco, Count de Venuto, George Gordon Carr. Taken, the picture is on 28th February 1935. Or maybe the stenographer did marry him. All right, we got more information. Colors written wrong. That's the most suspect part. Male, a U.S. citizen. Woo! We've got a bunch of detailed stuff about his body. Not super worried about that. Distinctive marks, deep lines from nostrils to mouth. Man, whoever wrote this up was really crushing on him. Peculiar, things that are a little weird. Italian extraction. Yes, I agree. That's very peculiar. Good-looking Latin type. Yes, whoever wrote this up was, oh man, he's a good-looking Latin type. Or maybe it was a lady. He's a good-looking Latin type. Often poses as foreign nobleman. Man, that's so much better than me. I just am my own slobby loser self. He's got this figured out. No, Super Paul, you're not supposed to admire him too. I don't know. Clothes always smartly dressed, but never flashy. No way that's not like somebody crushing on him. He's always smartly dressed, but he's never flashy. He doesn't overdo it. Jewelry, a gold signet ring on small finger left hand. Interesting. Where is he likely to be found? He trades Atlantic ships? Or Atlantic trade ships? That is where Reggie met him, was on a ship coming to America. They're coming to America. Personal associates, we don't know any of those guys. Habits, carries gun, but never been known to use it. We did find a 22 with a silencer in his room. Smokes and drinks, speaks Italian, normally speaks English with American accent, but can almost hide any trace of accent when he wishes, and sometimes passes as an Englishman. You know what we need to be able to make sure if he is or not? We need a giant, because they can smell the blood of an Englishman. My boss is gonna be like, what are you doing, Super Paul? Look, we just need a giant and I can crack this case. We've got some fingerprints, all right? I don't know if that's gonna matter or not. Apparently they were taken when he was in Sing Sing, one of his times. And then we have a telegraph. Oh, this doesn't have anything, I don't think, to do. We're moving on. Okay, so we gotta see all the evidence that we know Posadini is a fraud. We know he has a gun. He does not have a reputation for violent crime. He has a reputation for fraud. Let's see, this telegraph, 9th of March, 1936, in the evening. Received in Miami, Florida, from apparently London. Police headquarters, Miami, Florida. Your inquiry, PQ 4726. Lady Welter. Oh, apparently our boss telegraphed London to get some information on that lady. Lady Welter, born August 81. Widow, we already know that. Late Sir David, shipping magnate. They put him, you know, when you do your homework, your kid gives you their drawing, and you want to put it on your ship, you use a ship magnet. Shut up. That's an old man. That's a dad joke. Let's keep going. So we already knew her husband was dead, Sir David. He died in October of 1922. The will attested 1,311,000. Stop. Purchased controlling interest, Fireside Weekly. I think the Fireside Weekly is probably the newspaper that Lady Welter owns, that the Bishop of Bude has mentioned that he thinks is incredibly important because it does good for society. Something Christian Girl, something Cross and Pen, that or it's multiple newspapers, because I think they said newspaper plural. Maybe there's a Christian Girl newspaper, I don't know. 29, all papers, high moral. Oh, they must be 3 different newspaper lines, apparently. Oh, honey, have you read Christian Girl today? Somebody watching is like, Paul, I think it's about time you do. All right. All papers, high moral tone, object to influence British youth towards established church. Lady Welter, fanatic on this subject. That's why the Bishop of Bude likes this, right? Christian Girl? Because hopefully the Christian thing, hopefully the girl thing isn't, oh yes, show me that centerfold of her being devout even. Lady Welter is fanatic on the subject. Stop. Circulation of papers 1,859 100 and 20 and 250,000 respectively, all run at losses made up by Lady Welter privately. Her newspapers are failing. I thought she came here, and I don't know why she came here. She came here for the business deal, right? I thought she was worried about getting richer. Maybe she's scared of losing everything because her papers are collapsing. People aren't buying Christian Girl anymore here in the year of 1936. These sinners. Lady Welter involved hatchery crash? Is that some sort of market crash? All right, let's do some quick research. According to 1936 Wikipedia, Clarence Charles Hatchery was an English company promoter, financier, bankrupt, bookseller, and publisher. I assume bankrupt is what happened to him, not his job. I'd like to be bankrupt. The fall of the Hatchery Group in September 1929, which had been worth about £24 million, which would probably been in the billions today, is cited as a contributing factor to the Wall Street crash of 1929. So Lady Welter must have lost a ton of money if she had also involved in Hatchery's business during the crash. 29, lost large portion of fortune. Stop. Principal income now derived from Rock Savage companies, which passed dividends last year. Papers now in financial difficulties. So the only reason she can afford anything, she seems like a Richie Rich, is she's living off of her dividends from the Rock Savage company. If Rock Savage lost to Blane and goes tits up, she loses everything. And does that give the Bishop of Bude a motive now? It seems like a mighty poor reason to kill a person over a newspaper, but if it's doing the God's duty for the Christian Girl, I still think he's unlikely to have done it. But his motive just got a little stronger, and hers has gotten way bigger, as has her daughter and her son-in-law's. Many friends, I continue, many friends in high positions established church, including Bude. Stop. One child only, Pamela Mary, born September 19. We already talked to her. We talked to her, I think, 2 episodes ago. Born in September 1910. Educated Rhodian? You mean like Greedo? I'm sure that's some famous school. But I'm a dummy. She became like a Greedo, like in the Star Wars. Married November 31. We don't need all that. Yeah, she married Reginald Jocelyn, no children. Stop. Honorable Mrs. Jocelyn, no information except above. Stop. So there's no record on Pamela. She doesn't have any kind of bad record or any kind of news one way or the other. Honorable, or maybe it's just Hun Reginald? Honorable Reginald Jocelyn, born May 1902. I think that's 1902. Second son of Earl of Crowcorn. I didn't know he was royalty. No wonder it takes him 2 hours to dress. He doesn't have his maid there, and he's confused. He's like got his head stuck in a sleeve. Help me! Help me! Mommy! Help me! Where was I? Son of the Earl of Crowcorn, educated at Eton and Cambridge, entered stockbrokers Wren, Fall, and Hackett. So that's why he manages Lady Welter's stuff. Wait, did he get her into the hatchery crash? Or did she get herself into that on her own? 1925. Maybe these are dates. When it says like 1925, it happened then. Motor salesman, Rendell Company. 27, Cowen Advertising Company. 28, Publicity Department, Pinnacle Films. 30, married Pamela Welter. Yeah, it seems to be a timeline. 31, and entered Lady Welter's publishing house. Later became her personal advisor. Stop! Not well regarded by family. No personal fortune as far as ascertainable. Written for debt. Many occasions between 23 and 30. I assume 1923 and 1930. So he's like the black sheep of his family? Apparently, maybe he's got a gambling problem. That's why he wanted Posadini on. Because he thought Posadini was legit and Posadini was just going to take his money. Apparently provided for since by Lady Welter. His own parents don't want to take care of him. Nicholas Stoddart, no information. Bishop of Bude, born 71. That would have been, I guess, 1871. Educated privately, la-di-da, and Cardiff University. Entered church in 1902. From 1905, I think that's 1905, has contributed many articles. So he writes a lot for the Christian Girl, I guess. The Bishop Bude is like, this is what us Christian girls are doing, friend. You know, when the Bishop of Bude told us that he had advised her, I never thought that he was actually writing articles for a publication. He's more involved than I had thought in the newspapers of Lady Welter. 99, then it says 1901. I don't know what the 99 is. I think 1901 is 1901. Served as Padre, South African War. 1417, World War, then sent home. Involved in unsavory scandal, the bishop was, with troops. Escaped publicity as inquiry held in private, at which Bishop was exonerated on all charges. Wait, didn't Blane mention in his letter something about their time together in the war? Yeah, going back to one of his mini chicken scratch letters, notes, the letter from Blane to the bishop. You will, I am sure, recall these wonderfully interesting, and I still don't know what that word is, animations and something, which we held when we were together for a little time during the war. Did Blane commit a war crime? Did Bude? Did one cover for the other? Did one hate the other? I want to know those secrets now. Bishop exonerated on all charges. Appointed suffragan bishop, September 23. Bishop of Bude, March 29, Stop. So that it must be in 1929 he became the Bishop of Bude, right? Bolitho Blane, date of birth. Oh, so now we got some information on Bolitho Blane. I want to know more about the Bishop of Bude stuff. He had some shit going down. Bolitho Blane, date of birth unknown, age approximately 48, believed to have arrived in Europe with Australian forces during World War I. First came into prominence as financier. Termed by press mystery man of stock exchange. No photographs ever published. What can't be Stoddart, right? Or was there never a Blane and Blane was made up the whole time? But there was blood. There had to have been somebody who actually bled. Nobody has ever taken a photograph of Blane. Lives as recluse. Benwood, Cobham, Surrey. Rarely visits London. That's me too. I'm a recluse, and I've never visited London. Visits London offices. Transacts business by telephone. Blane Company shaky at moment. Shrewd observers believe him due crash. I assume that means he's broke because of the crash or something? Count Posadini, no information available because Count Posadini's not real. We have information on him now. That's all the information that's available from the Chief Inspector, Tring Records, Scotland Yard. Pretty cool. Our boss is hoity-toity that he could ring up Scotland Yard. We just learned a bunch of new stuff that we need to know more about. I do have to say too, is Scotland Yard has some very good records. What else we got? Intelligence Section, Police Headquarters, Miami, Florida. So this is more of our own personal stuff. Only information available at the moment regarding Mr. Carlton Rock Savage and his daughter. It's from a Who's Who in America article from 1936. Carlton Rock Savage, I don't think I'm going to go through all of this. He was born in Detroit, in 1876. Standard Oil, 1904. Maybe he is shady if he worked for Standard Oil. Moving along. Forms his own company, president of Bloomberg Rock Savage in 1912. Founder and president of Rock Savage Incorporated in 1922. He's got a house on Long Island. He's got a yacht in New York. He's got a Corinthian yacht. Beaver Dam Sports. Beaver Dam? I don't know what that is. Further to the above, we have no police record, but the following details are based on general information. Carlton Rock Savage came of a respectable middle-class family, but, as a younger son, had to make his own way. On finishing his education, he entered the soap firm of Spears Cunliffe, and, 6 years later, transferred to Standard Oil, in both of which he gained considerable general experience. He left the latter to become a director again in soap. He couldn't get away from the soap business. I try to get dirty, but I gotta get clean. Of Bloomberg Freen, a small company which he soon became the moving spirit. His rise to eminence as a financier dates, however, from his marriage with Annette Pritchard in 1912. Her father put up the necessary capital, and the firm was reorganized as Bloomberg Rock Savage in the autumn of that year, with Rock Savage as president. So he married into wealth. We got a lot of posers on this ship, and I'm not just talking about Posadini. The company secured large contracts from the Allies for supplies in the early stages of the war. And this would be World War I, because World War II hasn't happened yet. And it was in order to take advantage of war contracts that Rock Savage assumed the chairmanship of Grandel Soaps, which had their headquarters in Paris in 1915. The following year, he also became president of Denton Bros Incorporated. And by that time, his financial interest was spreading in every direction, like a French Parisian whore. That wasn't in the article. In case you're not reading along. Early in 1918, he formed Sen Toilet Preparations to handle other lines allied to the soap industry, and at the conclusion of the war, he is reputed to be worth a very considerable fortune. His company suffered somewhat in the after-war slump, but various retrenchments were effected, and his business continued to develop in all parts of the world. People are hopefully always going to need soap, right? Until the Depression set in. 1932, however, found him in very serious difficulties, and it was rumored then that he might go under. His original partner, Moisten Bloomberg, died in November of that year. Dun dun dun! The cause of his death was never cleared up quite satisfactorily. Did he shoot himself and throw himself off of a yacht? He was found dead in his office chair one afternoon, and poison of a subtle variety, which would leave little trace, was suspected. It is believed, however, that if this was the case, the poison was self-administered, as Bloomberg, in addition to having a large and expensive family, had lived with the utmost extravagance for many years and had come to the end of his financial resources. No suspicion attaches to Rock Savage in this matter, although he was present in the same block of offices at the time. After his partner's death, he reorganized as Rock Savage Consolidated in January of 1933, and then succeeded in bringing his companies through the Depression. He has, however, never regained his financial strength, and last year has shown a steady decline in the shares of those concerns in which he is interested. So he's living this lavish lifestyle while everyone on that ship is actually doing worse and worse financially. This is largely due to a price-cutting war, which he has been waging with a British soap group controlled by Bolitho Blane. How could you do that to us, English? After we helped you in World War I, you try and fuck us in the soap business? Page 2 about his daughter, Miss Fairy Rock Savage, only child of the above. Born, oh man, this English nomenclature for dates confuses me. May 10th, 1913, educated Heathhurst School, Long Island, Munich and Paris. Long Island's not in Munich and Paris. Prominent socialite and member of the Young New York Smart Set. Those stupid smart setters thinking they're so much smarter than me, just because they are. On her return from Europe 4 years ago, she at once became a press personality. Is fond of amateur acting. What, she don't like professional acting? No, give me the amateurs. Well, you can see a lot of that on Broadway. Ooh, burn. They're like, you're jealous because nobody watched your play that was in a cardboard box in the backyard. On her return from Europe 40 years ago, she had once became a press personality, is fond of amateur acting, and has appeared at nearly all smart charity shows in recent years. Much photographed and credited with numerous love affairs. She is a whore. Good, I can judge her and not feel bad about it. I better not read this episode or this week's issue of Christian Girl. The bishop might have written an article about how you shouldn't embrace the Schadenfreude or something. There are grounds to suppose. Wait. She's known for fucking around? Wasn't she hanging out with Reginald on the deck of the ship when it left port? And didn't they disappear below deck together? I wonder if they're going to have alibis because they were doing the bump and grind. There are grounds to suppose that the Wendell Norton marriage was broken up on her account. So she probably has fucked married men, and then Reginald's a married man, although she was not cited as co-respondent. Last fall, she was constantly in company with well-known film star Jack Houghton. There were rumors of her engagement to him at the time, but nothing came of this. Maybe Jack didn't want to marry a whore. She often accompanies her father upon his yachting trips and does hostess. Yeah, of course she does hostess. She's looking for someone to spread her legs for. At the big private entertainments, which he gives in his New York and Long Island homes. She is often absent at house parties because she's fucking other people, maybe? However, and lives the independent life of a modern young woman. Man, this boat is a boat of sinners, and not just because I got on board to investigate it. I wonder if that's going to mean her and Reginald are going to have alibis because they were too busy boning. But it does also give Reginald possible motive because the soap price war is destroying Rock Savage's business, which is destroying Lady Welter's wealth, and Reginald needs that wealth to survive because she takes care of him, and then the papers need her money to survive because they're failing, and the Bishop of Bude wants the papers to survive. Oh. Man, we are learning so much. We have one more telegram here. Let's see, 9th of March, 1936, from Tokyo, Police Headquarters, Miami, Florida. Inosuke Hayashi, native of Nagasaki. Oh man, that guy he needs to move. He doesn't know what's coming. Educated at Oxford, age 35, has negotiated many commercial transactions for Japanese government. Believed acting at the moment for Shikoku Products Company, who have big dealings with Office of Interior Supplies Department. Takashi Information Bureau, Police Headquarters, Tokyo. So, we didn't really learn anything scandalous about him. He seems to be exactly who he said he was. I can't believe all the stuff we learned in this episode. Sometimes it's dry as the desert, and some days it just rains. What we have learned is that a lot of these people on this boat are in a very, very grave financial situation, and it's because of the soap war with Blane. We also know the bishop, maybe Blane was involved, maybe not, was involved in an unsavory scandal during the war. What was the scandal? We also learned that Rock Savage had a partner long ago who died mysteriously, who was poisoned. Did Rock Savage kill his old partner?